We just got back from a couple-week trip up in Canada, and one of the things that was driving me nuts in our Renegade Verona, it's a 2022 model, was the outlets in the bedroom. And maybe some of you have struggled with this, but there's just all the new stuff is coming out with the USB-C ports. And yeah, Renegade had enough thought to put the USB-A style in, but they have this bright light at night. And so what I'm going to do is swap these out. I actually bought some online during our trip, and they just got here yesterday. And this is what I bought. So you can see that you've still got two 115 plugs, a USB-A plug, and two USB-C plugs. And so the brand of these was TOPGREENER, which I've never heard of. Typically, the electrical work I've done over the years, I've used the Leviton brand, like you can find at Home Depot or Lowe's. And these were about half the price. So I actually I bought a group of them because I'm going to replace them all in the coach. But this one on this side of the bedroom, see, it's only got one 115 plug and two USB-A's, but this little light is on at night. And for those of you that need it completely dark to sleep well, they don't bode well. So anyway, we're going to switch them out. There's some tools you're going to need. I'll insert a picture here of the tools that I grabbed. But short version is you're going to need a screwdriver. You might need a pair of pliers. I don't think you'll need the wire stripper style, but I brought it just in case. And one of these handy dandy buggers, because what we're going to do right now is we're going to plug it in. Okay, see, that tells us that it is on. Okay, so right now let's go to where the circuit breakers are in the coach. And so if you've got a Renegade coach, they're down here. They're all clearly marked. Renegade did a really good job with this. Bedroom receptacles, 15, that's the one I'm turning off. See that? Let's go see if our tool is telling us that the power is off, so it's safe to change. Yep, power's off, so let's go to work. All right, so you'll need the slotted screwdriver to undo this one and this one. I'll do that and I'll be right back. All right, so once you've taken those screws off, you can take this wall plate off, and then we will need the Phillips style screwdriver to loosen these up. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So I do want to mention how important it is to make sure the power is off to these outlets. It may seem obvious to many of us, but for some of you that have never done electrical work before, that are going to try to tackle this on your own, just make sure the power is off. I could have unplugged the 50 amp, and I could have made sure the inverter was turned off or shut the coach batteries off so nothing's running, and there wouldn't be power to this. But in my case, it'd be pretty dark back here, and that's no good. So as you can see on this outlet, we've got the neutrals, and then you've got this ground, and then on the other side you got the black there, so you're hot. So when you do this ground, make sure all the way around this green stud, typically they'll be green, that you put the ground onto, and you can tell it's the ground because it's the copper wire that does not have insulation. Insulation's the white or the black. And I know some of you are gonna really get me in the comments and say, well, you're just dumbing it down way too far. Hey, I'm just trying to help those guys and gals that try this that don't have any electrical training. I just pressed these two in this side, and now we're going to tighten this up to hold them in place. Make sure they stay down as deep as you can. Press in like that and that. Tighten this side up here so they stay engaged. All right, now I always like to take my slotted screwdriver and give it just a tiny bit more, just to ensure they're gonna stay in there. The last thing we want is a electrical fire in the in the coach. Some of you have paid over $500,000 for your coach, and I'm cognizant of that. So anyway, now we're going to orient this in the right direction, and we are going to press this in place, and then we are going to take the Phillips driver and we're going to get it in this slot here. All right, when you're tightening this up, you want to just kind of watch and make sure that you've got it centered, but also that you've got it straight. So what you don't want is it going side to side. I guess it's tighter than I thought, but to where it's crooked, because you want to be able to easily put this on. We've got a little bit more tightening to do. All right, the tester is on and engaged. I'm gonna go flip the breaker. Watch and make sure these two orange lights come on. Did they come on? We have lights on. It's saying I have the hot and the neutral reversed. So I'm gonna take it back out. One of them broke. That's our problem. I'm glad Renegade technician left enough wire so we can fix this. Wow. All right. Let's get after it. We're gonna need more tools. All right, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna strip this back. That way it puts less stress on these. Strip this guy, little tiny bugger. When you're cutting this, do not compromise the insulation on these. In this case, this is number 14 wire. I know it's commonly used, but number 14 wire is minimum. I would have loved if this was all 12 gauge wire. No, not a shade thing on Renegade. It's probably the same size they use in all these coaches, and it's probably the same thing you have in your house. Now, my house is 12 because I wired my house. And I wired my cabin and my shop, and I use 12. That's just personal preference, folks. So now I'm gonna line this up with the other white one. And yes, I did turn the power off. Now let's start hooking them up. That ground is down, okay? And these neutrals go on this side. All right, so now we're ready for it to go back in, and we'll test it. So we're tightening this up, and then we're about ready to test her again. Make sure she's gonna work for us. So yeah, if you can hear my air conditioning on, I did turn it on, I gotta confess. It was a little bit warm in here. Okay, now we're gonna try it. So, watch that light. But we want these two on, not these two, so. That's success. That's what we want. All right, got the cover plate put on it. That baby looks good. So you got two 115s, USB-A, two USB-Cs, and I'll tell you what, that install wasn't too bad. Now I've got a few more to do. I'm gonna do the one on the other side of the bed, over here. I've got another one up here by the couch that I might swap out. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you down the road.